The 3-year-old Russia-Ukraine war has reached a critical point as Ukraine, without the backing of US, stares at an uncertain future amid an unrelenting bombing campaign by Russia in the war-torn country. Ukraine claims Russia targeted its capital and several regions with 119 drones amid the Washington freeze on aid supplies. The attacks followed deadly strikes in eastern and northeastern Ukraine on Friday and Saturday. Ukraine claims at least 25 people were killed in the Russian strikes.
Фіксують наслідки даного обстрілу, документують. Вигоріла повністю тільки одна з пошкоджених будівель. Інші зазнали також суттєвих ушкоджень.
Russia has mounted a significant offensive in Ukraine's Sumy region. Moscow claims it has captured a village in the Sumy region after mounting a cross-border offensive by battling Ukrainian troops in Kursk. However, Kiev has denied any major breakthrough, saying its forces are destroying small groups of Russian troops trying to cross the border. Russia has also announced the capture of another eastern Ukrainian village in the Donetsk region, this even as its forces advanced towards central Dnipropetrovsk region. The Defense Ministry says its troops have captured the village of Kost-Yantinopil, about 50 kilometers west of the Russia-controlled city of Donetsk.
Russia is proving literally every day with its cruelty that nothing has changed for them in Moscow. They are not thinking about how to end the war, but about how to destroy and capture more, as long as the world allows them to wage this war.
After a bruising week on the battlefield, Ukraine is gearing up for fresh talks with the US in Saudi Arabia on Tuesday. While President Zelensky will travel to Saudi Arabia on Monday for a meeting with Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, the Ukrainian military and political delegation will stay for a meeting with the American senior officials the following day. The Ukrainian delegation will include Ukraine's Chief of Staff, Foreign Minister, Defense Minister, and Deputy Head of the Presidential Office. The U.S. delegation, on the other hand, will reportedly include U.S. President Donald Trump's envoy to West Asia, Secretary of State, and National Security Advisor. Witkoff says he's in discussions with Ukraine for a peace agreement framework to end the war. The scheduled talks come amid rising tensions between Ukraine and the U.S. as President Trump escalated pressure on Zelensky to expedite a peace process. Dov Zakhaim is a former Undersecretary of Defense in George W. Bush administration and currently senior advisor at Center for Strategic and International Studies. Mr. Zakhaim is joining us live at this moment. Good to see you. I just want to know from you, what are the prospects for Ukraine in these peace negotiations or these peace talks?
Well, first of all, good to see you again. It's not easy for Ukraine, no question. The cutoff has encouraged Putin to fire more and more missiles, to kill more people, to seize more territory. On the other hand, recall that Mr. Trump did a flip in a way and said that if Putin wasn't serious about peace, then he would step up more sanctions and tighten up economic pressure on Russia. I think that may have caught Mr. Putin by surprise, but in fact, it's consistent with Trump's approach, which essentially is he wants a deal. And he knows very well that pressuring just Ukraine will not work simply because the Ukrainians will fight to the last man. That's not going to help Trump at all. He needs to have Putin come to the table. Putin's not interested in coming to the table, quite frankly. He doesn't want a deal yet. He wants to seize more and more territory so that when Witkoff goes out to Saudi Arabia to try to negotiate, and remember, Witkoff is also negotiating the hostage deal with Hamas and Israel at the very same time. But when Witkoff does this and Trump trusts him implicitly, Witkoff has to be sure that Putin really is serious about peace. And if Trump concludes that Putin's not serious, and that Putin is simply what you might say playing him, you could see Trump turn on Putin very, very quickly.
Mr. Zakhaim, and very quickly, Ukraine has been facing various setbacks over the last month or so, and that's a fact. What's the problem?
Well, the problem is quite straightforward. They don't have American support. The Europeans give them money, but don't give them enough equipment. And finally, the Russians simply outnumber them, and the Russians don't care how many people they lose or get wounded. Remember, the number of Russian wounded and killed is up around 900,000, and Putin doesn't seem to care at all. Plus, he's got North Koreans, so he's got the bodies. The question really remains, can Ukrainian ingenuity, which already has demonstrated that drones are a very powerful weapon, can ingenuity offset this huge difference in numbers that is allowing the Russians to continue to pound away and seize more territory, even if it's not as much as the Russians would like to get?
Mr. Dov Zakhaim, it's always great to speak to you. Thank you very much for talking to us today.
Thank you for having me again.